Hello, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Gemini, very interesting, and I can feel like the duality between the two. So, from Le Vampire, you pulled Primal, connecting deep within, sacred dance and instinct. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled Service. Now, for some of you, you may be providing an important service to others, but there's a need for you to kind of like go out and have a good time. Primal is one of my going out and having a good time cards, but this is more about like the nightlife, right? Because it talks about needing to connect deep within to the primal part of yourself and express it through dance. So nightclubs is what comes up. Now, the other thing that came to me was dance instructor. Like maybe some of you need to start teaching people how to dance and providing that service, because it allows you the opportunity to like connect deep within, right? Now, like I said, though, I think that some of you are like needing to go out and needing to celebrate. But it's because with service here, it's about you giving up what you think you deserve and just manifesting what you need. But I'm not seeing it as like a bad thing. Now, some of you may need to stop like partying so damn much and like be a little bit more of service to others, which is another possibility. But I feel more like there's two different pulls going on with you. Some of you are needing to go out and have a good time. Others of you are needing to like give up your desires and be of service to other people. But like I said, like dance instructor was what came to me when I seen it. All right, Gemini, here we go. Here's your overall for the week. Oh boy. Oh, the heavy hitters like that always get me when they're the signifier. So justice. Justice being the overall fair and balanced choices, final decisions. Needing to make sure that the choices that you make are fair and balanced for everybody. Amending wrongs, somebody else amending wrongs, possibly dealing with court cases, things like that. But I think for you, it's just needing to have a situation fair. Now, in the past, and that may be why. So, in the past, the Four of Cups, boredom, dissatisfaction, not being interested. If something's being offered to you, you know, like one of the things that comes up for me with this one is, you know, what makes this any different than what I already have, you know. But then the other part of it too is she's kind of like looking at that kid like, really, it's not that bad, you know. But I'm looking at justice and going, well, why though? Is it like such a major thing to such a minor thing? You know, and it may be that like an offer came through and then like fell through. Like it ended up not being that great. In the present, the Nine of Pentacles, so not bad. Now, when you're talking about the Nine of Pentacles, right, self-reliance and independence, but there's like this abundance that's there though too. Now, for some of you, you know, if we're talking about, like, say, for instance, here, there's like an offer as far as like business goes. It turned out not to be so great, is what I feel like. And then you move into this place of just like wanting to do things on your own because it's like you're better on your own anyway, but wanting things to be fair, right? Future conditions, and when you do that, I think you're going to be a little bit more happy here with the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups being in future conditions, right? Overall happiness. Now, you know, for some of you, yeah, we can be talking about like a family situation here, but I feel like because of the progression, it's like you get to a place here where you're going to be more happy when you are on your own because things just were not satisfying in the past. You know, and again, just needing things to be like fair and balanced for you. Your best path to follow, the Hermit. Now, if we're talking about you going out and partying a little bit too much, then yeah, maybe the Hermit is the best thing to do. But what I feel more so with this is one of the things that I point out, and I've said this before, in his lantern, he has the star, which means he already has his hopes and his dreams right in front of him. And he's already been 1 through 9. So it's like looking back at it and going, you know, what were my hopes and dreams? You know, what was the initial spark of inspiration? The soul searching, you know, needing to do that soul searching. But again, with the Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit, there's a feeling here of you needing to do something on your own. But like I said, it like creates happiness for you. in your environment, the Two of Pentacles, so it may not be that easy. Now, like literally here, some of you may be like juggling 2 different jobs though too, if we're talking about the Pentacles. Or 2 different situations, right? Like work, personal life, work and school. 2 different things that you're trying to figure out here. But it's all in an effort here to get to a place of abundance, right? With the 9 of Pentacles. But again, I still feel like you being on your own is better than possibly being in like a partnership as far as business goes. I mean, you know, if we're talking about a relationship here, then yeah, you know, like needing to be like independent or, you know, keep your independence, so to speak. But then, you know, on the other hand, if a situation was like not everything it was supposed to be, then going back to a place of independence may be like a difficult thing to do, you know, because it's like, I feel like there's like a little bit of a worry as far as like a drop in income, if that's what we're talking about, and like needing to like manage some things a little bit better. But, you know, like I said, I feel more so that we're looking at like you needing to be independent from a situation. Hopes and fears, the world. Okay. And that makes sense to me. Okay, so if you're like dealing with 2 different situations, with the world being hopes and fears, it's really talking about you hoping that you can end one situation in a good way. The world is the successful completion. You know, feeling like you have accomplished something here, feeling successful, right? But closure and major ending. But needing to do it in a way where you're like not abandoning something or just dropping something, right? But needing to make sure that what you do is going to be fair. But, you know, again, with the 4 of Cups, it's like being in an unfair situation and like just needing to be on your own here to get to this ultimate happiness. Oh yeah, look at it. That's nice, Gemini. That is really nice. Now, and that's where I feel like the pull here between the oracle cards, it's like, you know, you're providing a service here and you're doing it for the benefit of others. But then at the same time here, it's like a need to celebrate and like, you know, really like tap into like this happiness here because you have this like brand new beginning coming through for you. With the Ace of Pentacles, in one of the things that I talk about with this one, I like it better than the other aces. Because, I mean, you know, with the Ace of Swords, yeah, I like that one too. But when you're talking about the Ace of Wands, you know, passion can like burn out. The Ace of Cups, you know, emotions can be drained. When you're looking at the Ace of Pentacles, you're talking about something that is going to be sustainable for you if you make the most of this. And this is good, and it's fair, and it's right, and it's what you need to be doing, rather than dealing with 2 different situations that are not making you happy. But, you know, again, with the Ace of Pentacles, it's continued growth. It's realistic, it's practical. All right, Gemini. So the reason why this new beginning is coming through for you, that's ultimately going to create this happiness, is because you start speaking up for yourself. You know, with the 7 of Wands, like I've always said, I'm not taking any more shit. This is where I stand. This is how I feel. This is what I think. End of story. Now, and that is because there's disappointment that is happening. And this is with a situation that you're still like in the managing process with right now. But you ultimately end up here with the Empress. And you look good. And with the 9 of Pentacles, you look even better. Abundance. You know, and again, bringing to life like new ideas, new opportunities. It's perfect. You get to this place here where you feel abundant, you feel comfortable. I think you look good. And I think that you look happy ultimately coming out, especially with the 10 of Cups being there. But it all starts with you needing to stand up for yourself about the things that are just not enough, not satisfying you because of the 4 of Cups coming through. But like I said, with that Ace of Pentacles, perfect. It's perfect. Right? You drop what is not going to make you happy and you make the most of the one. But again, you do it in a way that is fair and it's balanced, right? But it's all because, you're doing this soul searching about what is really going to make you happy. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I love it. All right, let's take a look at your love lives now and see what's going on, because I do think that this is going to be like business and work for some of you. Now, with healing family issues, when you're looking at the Queen of Wands, for some of you, it could be you dealing with another person, right? Fire sign here with the Queen of Wands. But, are you dealing, though, with somebody who is not available? That comes up with her with this deck, I think, more so than, like, looking at the normal tarot deck. Now, it may be that you need to kind of, like, heal some issues as far as, like, a divorce or separation goes, though, too. And I don't know, I keep feeling like that. But, if we're talking about you here with the Queen of Wands, I think that you're fine. I think that, you're able to, like, manage what's going on. But do you really want to be the only one, right? Like, maybe there's a need to reach out to the other person to kind of heal whatever happened. Now, on the other hand, for those of you who have not been through a divorce or separation, it's just like a need to heal whatever issues that you may have in terms of relationships and stop acting like you're not available. Or stop going after people who are not available. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, true love, this is the romance of a lifetime. Then you have the moon. So it could be that the both of you are like living out your fantasies with each other, very simply, right? Like, I don't necessarily feel like this is a bad thing. I just think that if you're in a situation here where there is a lot of true love, there may not be a lot of clarity as far as like the way both of you are feeling about each other, but fantasy comes up more with this one. But not bad, Gemini. And as far as what is going on in your professional life, I do think that maybe some of you need to take like your own path, because ultimately here it's going to lead you to this beautiful new beginning where you look fantastic and you're happy. All right, Gemini. So I think that some of you have gotten into a situation here that just like turned out not to be that great, looking at the Four of Cups kicking this off. And I'm telling you, like, I feel like you're needing to do things on your own right now. I don't think that dealing with two different situations is a good thing, whether we're talking about, two relationships, two jobs, but I think that this has to do with business for some of you. But you ultimately end up in this place where you're like happy, and with the Ace of Pentacles, yeah, that would make anybody happy. But truly what's going to make you happy here is probably working on something as far as like finances and business goes on your own. Like, you need to be on your own. That is the way that you're going to get the most out of what you're working toward. Now, as far as the Ace of Pentacles coming through, it is a better opportunity than what you've seen in the past. But it starts by you needing to speak up for yourself, especially when it comes to being disappointed. And again, with the Four of Cups kicking this off. But look at you. I mean, look. It's perfect. You look so good. So good. I think that, and especially with the Ten of Cups being there, I think that you get to a place of absolute abundance. And I think it's a new opportunity, but I think it's you creating this for yourself. Because again, with these two, and you needing to just do things on your own and be independent, I don't think that a partnership is the best way to go. And I do think that you're looking to close something out here. Instead of trying to balance the situation, it's like, okay, I need to make sure that everything is fair and equal here. I need this to be completed so I can drop one and just focus on the one opportunity that, is ultimately here going to make you look really, really good. I mean, like, really good. The abundance between the two is like, yes. Now, dance instructor. I don't know why, but that was immediately what I got from this. Now, like I said, for some of you, maybe partying a little bit too much and needing to, provide a service for somebody or be a little bit more focused on, what services you are providing. But like I said, with primal, it's like a need to connect deep within. I think that if you're doing anything in terms of business, you're providing a service for somebody else. But I think that the best way to do this is on your own. Like, you know, it keeps coming up. You're going to get better results if you do things on your own rather than being in a partnership, because I don't think that it's going to be what it's supposed to be or should have been. Again, with the Four of Cups coming through. But service, again, it's like giving up what you think you deserve and attracting just what you need into your life. And it can bring you to this place of like absolute abundance and happiness where you get to like go out and have a good time. Hell yeah. Now, as far as relationships go, healing family issues for singles and then looking at the Queen of Wands, I think that if we're talking about family issues, especially in terms of relationships, the reason why there needs to be some healing is because you continuously attract or go after people that I think are not available. Now, I do think that, you know, there may be a separation issue or divorce issue for some of you, and a need to just kind of heal things for the benefit of the family. But like I said, with her showing up, her more so than the normal tarot, it's like she's just not available. You know, she's just not there. And it may be that you're attracting this or you're acting as if you're not available every time there's an opportunity, and it may stem from family issues. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, true love in the moon, yeah. Living out your fantasy with your true love, very simply put, there may be a little bit of like confusion as far as the way you're feeling, but I don't think that that's it. I look at the moon differently with this deck rather than normal tarot, because it does talk about, you know, living out those fantasies. And with a true love, hell yeah, that's fantastic. But like I said, Gemini, you being on your own is probably the best thing right now. Being independent and working independently, and that is where the best opportunities are going to come through for you.